On today's show, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving haven't put up the numbers we've been used to against the Thunder, but they're still the number one reason why the Mavericks are up 2-1. I'll tell you why on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm Luka Doncic, and this is Locked On Mavericks.
Mavericks, NBA champions. Bang! It's good, and the Mavericks have won the game.
If you don't believe, you shouldn't be here.
Loyalty never fades away.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member and NBA channel manager for the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thanks for being part of the show, making Locked On Mavs your first listen today. Where the best way you can help us grow the show is to listen every day on any podcast platform. Like the video on YouTube, comment anything below. Give me a confidence meter. Scale of 0, no hope. 5, no doubt. On if you think the Mavericks are going to win this series. Scale of 0 to 5. Give me a confidence meter in the comment section on YouTube below. This episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the easiest and most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Go to prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA and use that code LockedOnNBA, all lowercase, for a first deposit match up to $100 today. I want to talk about some reasons why the Mavericks are up 2-1. So I've got some things. I've got some reasons, some things. We'll hear from Kyrie Irving a little bit later, a story about him and Derek Lively that I thought was incredible. But we got to start here. The Mavericks are up 2-1 against the OKC Thunder. Yes, this OKC Thunder team is a young team. Youngest team to ever reach the second round of the playoffs. They're also a top 5 offensive defensive team in the NBA. Those are title contenders. Teams that are in the top 5 in both offense and defense are title contenders. Top 5, top 6. I think they were like 6th in defense. They were close, neither one. Those teams are title contenders. 57-win team in a tough, brutal Western Conference. You and I watched all these teams in the West. We watched the standings all season trying to see if this Mavericks team would make it out of the play-in and make it into the top 6 and then get 4 or 5. How long did we watch this team and go, man, it's just brutal out there in the West? And then watch the East go through and go, man, if the Mavs were in the East, they'd be the number 2 seed right now. We just kept saying that over and over again. And so the Thunder, with 57 wins in the West, top 5, top 6 team in offense and defensive rating. This is a very good team. Number 2 MVP candidate in Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, voted on by everybody. Clearly ahead of Luka, according to voters. Mark Daigneault, coach of the year. They're getting all the accolades. They're getting all the attention for, deservedly, a team that was very good this season. So I say all that to say, do not put it past this Mavericks team that they are now up on this Thunder team, right? Still not putting this Thunder team behind and saying, oh, they're trash. They're trash, man. They're the trash, man. They're not. This is a good team. And the Mavericks are making them look like they're confused, making their offense look slow, making some of their players second guess a lot of the things that they're doing. And one of the biggest reasons for that is where I'm going to start today is Luka and Kyrie. Haven't given them enough credit the last couple of episodes. PJ Washington has been amazing. Derek Lively's been doing some great things. But Luka and Kyrie are still the number one reason why this team is where they are. Their counting stats are not anywhere near what you would expect. Luka averaging 23 points. 23 points, and his team is up 2-1. 23 points. 23 points. Luka Doncic in the playoffs has been one of the greatest playoff risers that we've seen in NBA history. Not even an exaggeration. He's a player that has gone from, his playoff average or his regular season average to a playoff average and risen every single year. Year 1 in the playoffs against the Clippers with elite defenders, he averaged 31 points a game. Led the playoffs in scoring the next year, playing 7 games against the Clippers, 36 points a game, basically. 31.5 points a game in that Western Conference Finals run that he won. He led the playoffs in scoring that year, too. And he's averaging 23 points a game in this series against the Thunder. He's also averaging 10 rebounds, 7 assists, and only 3.3 turnovers, and that number is huge. Shooting just 42% from the field, 35% from 3, and only 68% from the free throw line. He's struggling to shoot. That's where the injury is really hurting him the most. His little push shots at the rim that he gets, and his 3-point shooting, except for game 2, apparently, and his free throw shooting have all really hurt because of those injuries. So Luka's numbers, not what you'd expect. Kyrie's numbers. Kyrie Irving had a 40-point game in round 1. He was playing really well. We were talking about how great. He's averaging 23 points a game for the playoffs, averaging 17 points against the Thunder right now. 17 points. Kyrie Irving, in the year, there's a year with Cleveland, he averaged 19. That was his lowest playoff average. So he has not scored that great the last couple of times he's been in the playoffs, but we saw it in the Clippers series. He can get a shot, and this series, he's averaging 17 points. Absolutely insane from Kyrie that he's averaging 17 points, and the Mavs are up 2-1. He's shooting really well, though. He's shooting 49% from the field, 42% from three, 89% from the line. This is not a decision of him just saying, oh, well, I'm not shooting the ball well, so let me give it up more. But he's averaging 7 assists, which is great. Awesome for him. He got 11 assists in game 2, but these stats are not what we're used to. But the thing that Luka and Kyrie have given them, they're still giving you 40 points total between the two of them. And they've given you some clutch shots, some really clutch shots. Game 3, Mavs get the win at home. Luka, 2:15 left in the fourth quarter, gets a steal. Kyrie Irving has a bad turnover. Luka gets a steal right off of that, grabs it right out of the air, and then drives right at Chet, finishes right in front of him, and hits the finger roll, and the Mavs go up 5 with 2:15 left. Massive, massive shot from Luka. So you can look at his stats and go, oh man, 23 points, but 2 of those points matter a ton in the grand scheme of the game. This is the one big thing that I learned watching Dirk Nowitzki's career. The end number of how many points you average does not matter as much as when and where those points come from. You can be Bradley Beal averaging 30 points a game for the Wizards, and then all of a sudden you go to the Suns, and all of a sudden, hey, it's not so easy to score when you're like not giving the ball every single possession and giving all the rhythm and giving all the rhyme and giving all the, come on, man, it's bobsled time. Like, you're not giving all of that when you're playing with 2 other superstars. Luka hits that finger roll, 2:15 left in the fourth quarter, massive shot. Kyrie, game 3, 40 seconds left. Mavs are up 3, just 3, so 1 possession game basically. 40 seconds left. 1v1 against Jalen Williams, who has done a great job defending Kyrie. Really good defender. Long, young, can can stick with him all the time, can run forever, all that. Kyrie goes one-on-one against him, hits a shot. Mavs go up 5 with 40 seconds left. Huge, absolutely massive clutch play from Kyrie Irving. 17 points a game, but those 2 points at the end of game 3 mattered a ton. And then Luka, game 3, hit a free throw to go up 4 with 7 seconds left. He missed the second one, but still hit the one that he needed to and iced it. That was a clutch free throw as well. Game 2, Luka, with 6:30 left, the Mavericks are up 5, and he hit 2 shots to put Dallas up 9 in the middle of that fourth quarter. That was a massive, massive run. He had a runner against Dort, with Dort was just on his hip, and then he hit another turnaround fade where Dort just completely ran the other way, and Luka turned around, faded, hit the shot right in the lane, and then he got a steal right after that too. Clutch shots. The Mavs end up going up by 10 or 12 at that point, and then the Thunder couldn't catch up, and then the Mavs end up winning that by a bigger margin than normal. Huge clutch shots. Kyrie, game 3 in the fourth quarter with like 10 minutes left. Dallas is up 3, and you go, okay, we're okay right now. It's been a close game this whole time. Kyrie hits 3 shots in a row, just one-on-one. Go bam, bam, bam. Hits all those shots in a row. Dallas goes up 9 with 8 minutes. So in the 2-minute span, he hits 3 really tough shots. These clutch shots matter a ton. Just like Dirk Nowitzki, he would always average, 24 points a game, 25 points a game. Never got to like that 28, 30, what you would call an elite scoring season. But the buckets that he got mattered a lot when they happened. And that's exactly what's happening with Luka and Kyrie right now. The buckets they're getting matter a bunch, and they know exactly when they need to get you them. They'll give up the ball to PJ, who's been doing great, to Josh Green, to Lively, to Gafford, to whoever else. If all the attention is going on Luka and Kyrie, they'll give it up, and they've been great at that this series. But when you absolutely need those tough buckets, give it to them, and they got it, and they got you. They can hit those shots. Massive, massive. Huge things from those guys, big shots. But coming up, there's a couple other reasons. I actually have 3 other reasons why Luka and Kyrie are the number 1 reason why the Mavs are up 2-1, including, what did Kyrie say to Derek Lively after he starts running around like playing tag when he was getting intentionally fouled? Huge leadership moment from the Mavs. Talk about that coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by PrizePicks. PrizePicks daily fantasy made easy. All you have to do is go to prizepicks.com, pick more or less on 2 to 6 players' stat projections, and then you watch the winnings roll in on that. Go to prizepicks.com, see what is available for you. It changes all the time. You got to keep checking back on their website. Again, prizepicks.com. So keep checking it out. They have all kinds of stuff for NBA. All you have to do, they got WNBA stuff right now. Right now, they have a deal. This is great. This is why you have to go to the website, because I didn't know that this was available. Caitlin Clark against Connecticut Sun on Tuesday. 0.5 points. You think Caitlin Clark's averaging is getting 1 point in this game? I'm taking the more on that one. That's a give me. Give me that one. Let's do another one kind of in that game. Caitlin Clark. Oh, then you can do 21.5 points. So give me less on the 21.5. I think she gets between 1 and 21 points. That's basically what I'm deciding here. And then let's do one more. Let's do Aaliyah Boston, her teammate, 13.5. Let me give me more on that one. So just those three on the WNBA. Put down $20, you can win 100. If you put down $100, you can win 500, stuff like that. Go check it out on prizepicks.com. Use that code LOCKEDONNBA, all lowercase, LOCKEDONNBA. For a first deposit match up to $100, you give them $100. They put $100 into your account for you to use. prizepicks.com/LockedOnNBA.
Shut it down! Let's go home!
Thanks everybody for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, listening every day. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking out the show. We have a daily 24/7 stream on Locked On Sports Dallas. Go check it out on YouTube or Amazon Fire TV. All the best stuff. If you're watching all those sports shouting shows, have you ever seen 30 Rock? We're not that. We're bringing you content just like this. Locked On Mavs is on there. Locked On Rangers. Locked On Cowboys. Locked On Stars. Dallas Stars. Great stuff all over the place. So check out Locked On Sports Dallas on YouTube, Amazon Fire TV. We're talking about why Luka and Kyrie are still the number one reason why the Mavs are up 2-1 against the Thunder right now. Talked about their clutch shooting. Their points matter in a big way when they matter. Their gravity. I kind of mentioned that at the end there. Their gravity is why PJ and everyone has opened up so much. They're sending two players every time Luka or Kyrie drive the rim. OKC is sending those guys. They're sending an extra helper. They're helping off the corners. We knew they were going to do this. They do this through the regular season. In the regular season, they allowed the most corner threes in the league by percentage. Like 14% of the time, they're getting opponent is getting a corner three against the Thunder because they're helping off those corners. And it's worked for them. They're a top 5 defense. But sending extra help to Luka and Kyrie gives them the opportunity to then kick it over, get other guys open. Kyrie had 11 assists in game 2. That wasn't an accident. Kyrie didn't score that much, but he was able to get other guys open. And sometimes, hey, an assist, that gets you 2 points, 3 points, just the same as if Kyrie would have scored. And so they're creating the offense still with their gravity. And they're giving PJ Washington, they're giving Daniel Gafford, they're giving Derek Lively, they're giving these guys this extra space and extra time to get some of these shots off. And so that is super important. Their gravity, just as much as their clutch shooting, but their gravity, what they bring, is allowing all these other guys to make shots so that they don't have to, okay, you guys have to score 30 each, or else we're not winning this game or getting anywhere close, right? Their gravity is helping that as well. Committing on defense is the next thing. These guys are so locked in defensively. Now, Luka with the injury has been up and down. He's had some good moments. He's had some bad moments in this series. But they're both so locked into the scheme defensively, and everyone else is following in behind. If those two guys, if Luka and Kyrie are locked into the scheme, if they're the ones that are like really rotating and communicating and all that, I can't slip. I can't slip me as Derek Jones Jr., as PJ Washington, as Daniel Gafford, as Derek Lively, as Josh Green, and all them. On defense, Kyrie Irving is doing an amazing job on Jalen Williams. Kyrie Irving has guarded Jalen Williams 17 minutes this series, which doesn't sound like a lot, but the most Mavericks player has guarded a Thunder player is 19.5 minutes, and that's Derek Jones Jr. on SGA. So Kyrie has guarded Jalen Williams, the second most of any Mavericks player has guarded a single Thunder player. And Jalen Williams has only shot 2 of 5 against Kyrie. Kyrie, who's smaller than him, Jalen Williams, who gets up tough shots, he can hit a fadeaway jumper in the lane. He's not getting as many shots off against Kyrie. Kyrie's doing a great job on that. And on the other side of it, Kyrie is 9 of 14 against Jalen. He's got 10 assists. He's got 6 turnovers against him, but 10 assists to 6 turnovers is still okay, and 9 of 14 shooting. So he's winning that matchup handily. Even though he's only averaging 17 points, he's winning that matchup by a lot. Luka and Kyrie, too, the way they're locked in on defense, they are so smart. They both are super smart when it comes to defending in the passing lanes, deciding what guys do, things like that. Luka has 7 steals. Kyrie has 5 steals. Luka has a block. Kyrie has 4 blocks. They both have 3 deflections each. And so you're looking at, between the two of them, 12 steals, 5 blocks, 6 deflections in these 3 games. Those are Wembanyama, like, single game numbers. They're doing great stuff. They're doing great stuff on defense, committing on defense, and they're there when you need them to, and they're there to muck things up. And that's what this team does. They've got guys to stand their ground. Luka and Kyrie kind of stand their ground, but they're the guys that are just running in between things and making sure that they mess things up even more for the other team. Taking chances. Those guys are allowed to take some chances. And they are, and it's paying off. Another thing, reason why these guys are the reason why the Mavs are up 2-1, settling the team down. These are the leaders. These are the veteran leaders. And Derek Lively, everyone saw the clip of Derek Lively posted himself. OKC decides they're going to do the hack-a-shack. They're going to deck a Derek. They're going to intentionally foul to get Derek Lively on the free throw line. And so Chet has a 7'6" wingspan. Insane. He starts running after Derek Lively. And Derek Lively starts running with his hips out front and his shoulders back like you're running in tag. Like you're trying not to get tagged in recess. And he's running around the baseline and he's running back up the sideline and he's trying to get away from Chet. And he does. He gets away from Chet there. And then he ends up running into Casey Walls because he wants to be part of the play. He wasn't just going to run around in circles. So he gets part of the play. Casey Walls fouls him, and that's the first intentional foul. So after that moment, Kyrie said something to him and settled him down and was like, hey, man, let me give you some confidence here. And this is what Kyrie said.
Hey, Kyrie, I wanted to ask about the hack-a-shack on Lively. Coach Kidd said you told him to just not worry about running away, just take the foul, shoot it. Can you talk about that?
Were those his exact words?
Not quite, but
what were his exact words, just to be clear?
Something along those lines. What did you say?
No, I want to know exactly. Do you remember?
He said your message was to tell Lively to take the foul and shoot the free throw.
Yeah, what did it look like for you guys when he was running? I just wonder what the fans were thinking too. I actually didn't see him running around until after I didn't see the clip until after the game, but we came back to the bench and I was just like, man, you don't have to do all that. Just let them foul you, accept it, take it as a compliment, and go up there and knock down your free throws, man. We believe in you. We know you put in a lot of reps. So although he is a rookie, I think going up there, he showed a lot of poise. He showed a lot of his preparation, his confidence, and whether he makes or misses, I feel like that's a good opportunity for us. Kind of shows where we are as a team, especially in the half court or playing in transition. I'm talking about the respect from the OKC team, where they don't want us to play in half court, so they go to the hack Derek Lively, and it worked out in our favor tonight. So I just want him to go up to that line and shoot confidently.
And that's exactly what he did. Shot confidently. Made the last 4 of those free throws and iced the game. Absolutely massive shots from Derek Lively, a rookie at home. Big moment. Everybody in the oxygen in the room went from, I don't know, it's an oxygen like 20% of the air. 20.9%. Your boy knows science. The oxygen in the air is normally 20.9. It went down to probably 18% when Derek Lively went to the free throw line, because everyone in the building collectively held their breath. And they just waited there for him. And they waited there for him to hit those, and he hit the last 4. And Kyrie Irving was there to help settle him down, to say, hey, man, you don't got to go run around. Be confident. Be confident in your shot. You make these in practice. Maybe if Dwight Howard had somebody like that in his camp, it would have been better for him. But this is the veteran leadership of Kyrie and of Luka that have really settled this team. Luka's always going to teammates after they take shots and making sure that, hey, keep shooting. Keep going. Don't stop. Don't stop taking shots. There was also a moment in game 3 that I I went back and watched, because this was a real big pivot point. About 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the game, in the third quarter. Dallas is down by 10. This is OKC's biggest lead of the game in game 3. They're down by 10, and you're like, this could open up. I mean, if OKC starts hitting some threes, all of a sudden, this is a blowout. A 10-point lead, and then all of a sudden they hit 3 threes, boom, 19-point game. And then you're like, oh, God, now we have to really work hard and really work to get this back. Mavs have not been great at coming back from down multiple double-digit deficits against a team with a good offense, too. And you get Kyrie Irving, 2 excellent entry passes, outlet passes, whatever you want to call them, in transition, kicks it up to Josh Green, gives him the confidence in that moment. Hey, we're down. You're running out in transition. Boom, gets it to Josh Green. Great look ahead. Josh Green, way to be out there in front. Josh Green swings it to Lively. He gets fouled on both plays. He goes to the free throw line again. Those are more of his free throws that he took. But Kyrie Irving drawing the defensive eyes and initiating the offense and kicking it forward and giving confidence to those guys. He could have just held the ball. He could have just held the ball there and be like, all right, we're down 10. I got to go make this happen. Instead, confidence in his teammates, kicked it ahead, made the right play, did exactly what he needs to do. It seems small, but I think those things really matter. Luka, also in that run, had an outlet to Derek Lively, and then Derek Lively kicked it over to PJ Washington for the 3 in this run when they were down 10. That was another play. Same exact thing that Kyrie did. He kicked it ahead, and he kicked it ahead to Lively. He didn't kick it ahead to a guard or a wing. He kicked it ahead to a center, and the center made the right pass and kicked it over to PJ Washington, and PJ Washington just apparently can't miss threes anymore. Kyrie also had a moment where he had really good defense on Josh Giddey in a play during this run, and on Jalen Williams. Funneled him right into help, and Derek Lively was right there. They turned the ball over, and the Mavericks got one of those outlet passes. Huge run right there. Mavericks were down 10, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, a couple of transition plays later, a couple of big stops, a couple of transition plays, they're down 2. And then everything was settled, and all of a sudden, it's the 2 stars that got them back there. Game 2, Luka had this moment. The Mavs had a little bit bigger of a lead in this one, but 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Luka gets a huge 3 when Dort flopped really hard on the Derek Lively screen. Mavs go up 9 at that point. They were up 6, and it felt a little shaky at that point. The lead was kind of getting away from them, but he hits that 3, and boom, like that energy that it just gives them. Luka screaming at the sidelines. The whole bench is going nuts for him. Like this team, like Luka and Kyrie, what they do, they settle this team down with some of these plays. So these two guys, I think, are the number one reason why, because of these things that I talked about. Their clutch shooting when it matters, their gravity on offense, committing fully on defense, and settling this team down with their leadership is the reason why this team is up 2-1 right now against the Thunder. Coming up, I got 3 other reasons why the Mavericks are up 2-1 against the Thunder. We'll talk about that coming up. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. FanDuel Sportsbook has all kinds of props and odds that you can use to get in on the action. Check out what they have in store for you. They've got Game 4 Mavs at home, -1. That is really interesting to me because usually you get like 3 points for being at home. Timberwolves are a 3-point favorite against the Nuggets. In that game, you've got the Celtics are an 8-point favorite on the road, but Mavs only a 1-point favorite. So if you think the Mavericks are absolutely going to win, if you're in the confidence meter and you're like, hey, they're going to win, so go check it out on FanDuel. See what they got for you. See what other kind of stuff they have as well. End of the year stuff. I'm sure they have a bunch of WNBA stuff as well. They got a whole tab for it. Go check out that. $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 bets. If you want to put down $5 on that Dallas 1-point line right there, you can do that. Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon. Make every playoff shot count. FanDuel, America's #1 sports book.
Uh-oh, guess what day it is? Guess what day it is, huh? Anybody?
All right, Isaac, let's get into the rest of this. I got 3 other reasons why the Mavs are up 2-1, things that we haven't really talked about as much. Yesterday, we talked a lot with Slightly about PJ Washington, about Derek Lively, about that. Josh Green deserves a lot of credit for what he's done with this team and how he's sort of like found a little bit of a role and done some things that you didn't really expect from Josh Green. And he's had an up and down season this year. He only played 57 games. He's had some injury issues. And he missed like the last, 15 games, 10 games of the season or so, and then played like the last 3, and some of them didn't really even matter. And then all of a sudden the Clippers series, he's playing some, but not really. And now these last 3 games, he's had an impact on this team. He had 11 points in game 2. He hit 3 threes in game 2. That was absolutely massive. And then he only hit 1 3 in game 3 and had 1 assist and 1 rebound. And you're like, okay, Nick, like, why are you talking about Josh Green if he had 3 points, 1 rebound, and 1 assist? Because all 3 of those stats, all 3 of those plays came in that run when they were down 10. I mentioned earlier that Kyrie kicked ahead to Josh Green. Josh Green made the exact right decision in those plays. Got it to Lively, and he got fouled right at the rim, kicked it over, made the right decision, and then he hit a 3 during that run as well. So PJ hits a 3, Josh Green hits a 3, and then it was a massive run for the Mavericks, who were down 10. Got it to within 2 really quickly. And Josh Green was one of the reasons why that they made those plays in that moment. He played 15 minutes. He was a plus 15. Huge. Every minute they're going up another point, basically, when Josh Green was on the floor in game 3. And I thought that he was another one of those reasons why, like a small thing that no one's really going to talk about, but he made some impact plays in that stretch in the third quarter when the Mavericks were down 10. Massive play. The center production. This was a real big point that I had before the series is I'm watching the centers. I'm watching the Derek Lively Daniel Gafford combo versus the Chet Holmgren experience. If the Mavs centers outperform Chet, then that's good for the Mavericks. If Chet outperforms both the centers like handily, that's bad for the Mavericks, and it'll be very hard for them to win games. Right now, here's where it stands. You ready for this? This is counting stats. Maverick centers, 17.5 points a game. Great. 13 rebounds between the two of them. 3 assists, 2.5 blocks. Chet Holmgren, 14 points a game. 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 blocks. So the assists and the blocks, he's there. He's making stuff happen. But 3.5 less points a game, basically, and like 6 less rebounds a game. Huge difference. Huge difference. The Mavs centers are outproducing Chet Holmgren, and honestly, Chet has looked timid at times in this series. His role is not as defined as Derek Lively. So kind of his spot right now is a little bit harder. He's a type of guy, he'll probably be an all-star one day. I mean, he's very good. He can do a lot of things. Like you watch him play and you're like, dang, how can this? I mean, he is like a less good Victor Wembanyama, but still like, oh my God, he does all the things that Victor Wembanyama does. Just like a little less, just a little shorter, like 4 inches shorter, Victor Wembanyama. But he can do all those things. He can hit the three. He went 2 of 5 in the first game. He can hit some jumpers. He hit a couple of one-legged fades that made me almost throw up in my mouth. Like he can hit some of those shots. He can get some assists. He had 6 assists in game 2. He can get blocks. He's amazing at the rim. Like he's been defending stuff like nobody's business. 3, 2, and 4 blocks in each of these games. But he's looking timid on offense. He got 19 points in game 1 when everything was going well for the Thunder, and then 11 points and 13 points since then. Just took 9 shots in game 3. Only took 2 threes. The Mavs are running them off the three-point line. They're making him do stuff that they don't want to do. And Chet Holmgren has not really taken that step forward as like, all right, I am the third heat. I am the third guy for this team. Because I don't think his role is as defined. He can do a lot of things, and honestly, sometimes that is going to hold players back. I've talked about this with a Josh Green. Like this is a weirder version of this. But in Andre Iguodala, when he was early in his career, guy that could do everything. Okay, ask him to do one thing. Aaron Gordon, ask him to do anything. He can basically do anything. That's going to hold you back sometimes in your career because you've got to catch all the skills have got to catch up. And the IQ has got to catch up. And Chet will get there for sure, but he can do everything. And so if you can do everything, then all of a sudden you're like second guessing, what should I do in this moment? It's one of the things that makes Luka on offense so incredible is that he makes the right decision pretty much every time. He can do pretty much all the things, and he makes the right decision all the time. It's what separates him from some of the other players in the class around him or him at the same age. He's just been that good. And so Chet Holmgren is kind of held back by this amazing talent that he has almost. It's wild to say, but I think at this point, the Mavs centers outproducing Chet is a big thing for the Mavericks because Chet was supposed to be a big positive for them. He's a shooting center. The Mavs have struggled with shooting centers, and that just hasn't been the case so far. The last thing I'll say, reason why the Mavericks are up 2-1, their defensive connectivity. In the half court on offense, the Thunder had the second best half court offense in the NBA. So that's not, take out transition, take out all the fast break stuff. Just in the half court. Can you score just when everything is set, when all the defenses are set and everything? They had 105.7 offensive rating in the half court. That was second in the NBA. Great. Good for that. That's usually a great playoff indicator. Game 1, they had 105 offensive rating in the half court. So just about their average. So they did what they did during the regular season. Game 2, it went down to 97.7. And then game 3 went down to 95.3. From 105 all the way down to 95. 10 whole points it dropped in efficiency. That's a massive swing right there. And I think it's because of the Mavs' defensive connectivity. They're making the Thunder do things they don't necessarily want to do all the time. They're slowing down their offense. They're running them off the three-point line. This Thunder team is not getting off the amount of threes that they normally would get. They were the number 1 three-point shooting team in the NBA this past season. The Thunder will take, a bunch of threes. They took 34 threes a game during the regular season, but they hit a ton of them. They, hit 39% of them. And right now, they took 35 in game 1, hit 16 of them, great, but they took 30 and 30, and then they're taking less than they did in the regular season. And so the Mavs' defensive connectivity limiting them in the half court, limiting them with their three-point shooting, running them off the three-point line, making them take tough, contested jumpers, which SGA is very good at. Jalen Williams has been very good at. We already mentioned Kyrie's defense on him. But one of the reasons why they had such a bad half-court offense in Game 3 was that in Game 1, the Thunder were 14 of 26 at the rim. So they took 26 shots at the rim. Game 2, they were 20 of 31 at the rim, which is kind of surprising. That's a lot. 31 shots at the rim. So 26 shots in Game 1, 31 shots at the rim in Game 2. And in Game 3, the Thunder went 11 of 15 at the rim. They took 15 shots at the rim. The Mavs deferred everything. Get out of the way. Get out of the rim. You're not coming to this rim right now. 15 shots. They went from 31 shots at the rim in Game 2 that they also lost to 15. Cut that in half. The Mavs defensive connectivity is making it happen right now, and we're making it happen here on Locked On Mavs. So tomorrow, Reggie and I will have Game 4 for you. This is a big game for the Mavericks. They go up 3-1. That's a massive thing. A tie 2-2. All of a sudden, it's a brand new series again. So go check out that tomorrow. Go check out Locked On Thunder as well. We're just doing Mavs 2-1 in the comment section over there if you want to do that. Guys, thanks for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom!